Good morning, Foxes. Today's guide is a 1 to 99 Ironman crafting guide. Crafting is actually pretty important, especially for Ironman, as many of the crafted jewelry is used for teleports, as well as needing to craft your Slayer helm. Do you like using custom emojis? Tired of waiting for my videos to drop? Want to get to know me? Becoming a channel member not only helps me grow, but gives you a ton of perks too. You'll find the link in the bio below. Thanks, Foxes. It's recommended to do quests for your early levels, as glass blowing is primarily the method used by Ironman due to its low cost and availability. Quests. Elemental Workshop 1 and 2 are fairly easy to do with low requirements and will grant you 12,500 crafting XP as well as smithing XP too. Cheap Shiro will grant you 150 XP, Goblin Diplomacy will grant you 200 XP, Mythalin Mystery will grant you 600 XP, Dwarf Cannon will grant 750 XP, Recipe for Disaster Freeing the Goblin Generals grants 1000 XP, Murder Mystery with 1406 XP, Observatory Quest with 2250 XP, Elemental Workshop 1, which requires 20 crafting, 20 mining, 20 smithing, rewards 5000 XP, Elemental Workshop 2, which requires Elemental Workshop 1, 20 magic, 30 smithing, and rewards 7500 crafting XP. Glass Blowing. This can be done starting at level 1, though it's far faster to knock out the quests mentioned above before moving on to this. At the very least, doing Elemental Workshop 1 and 2. It's recommended to get 77 magic before doing a lot of crafting, that way you can use the spell Super Glass Make, making it so you no longer need a furnace to make molten glass. You'll want to farm giant seaweed and buckets of sand when used on a furnace or Super Glass Make, makes molten glass. You can then use a glass blowing pipe on it to craft various items. It's possible to buy seaweed and sand from charters, or you can collect sand from Yanil and or mining and converting sandstone. Note that fishing trawler is closest to a bank. It's recommended at level 61 to buy buckets of sand and soda ash from trader crew members in Port Khazard. Also, buy seaweed if turning into soda ash isn't an issue, as it's got a higher stock. This is a popular location though, so keep in mind Catherby or Corsair Cove too. You'll then want to smelt these into molten glass and then into unpowered orbs, which you'll need 46 crafting for. It's also worth noting that doing the hand and sand quest should be completed as soon as possible, because you can then claim 84 free buckets of sand a day from Bert. The fastest way of getting buckets of sand is to mine sandstone in the quarry and grind it using the grinder named Sandstorm. You can give noted empty buckets to Drew, who's at the grinder, but it will cost you 50 GP per bucket of sand claimed. A slower but easier method is to farm buckets of sand in Yanil using the teleport home after having moved your house there. In the underwater area of Fossil Island, you can plant seaweed spores and grow your own giant seaweed. It's recommended to get flippers, which drops from Mogres at a 1 to 64th rate to increase your speed in the water. You can also kill lobstrosities to get a larger amount of seaweed spores. You must use magic, a trident of the seas from a kraken, or brine saber from brine rats on them. You can manually cast Fire Strike from within an air bubble to safe spot them. You can also farm them from the sea floor next to the patches, but killing lobstrosity is a far faster method, upping your 50-ish spores to about 100 an hour. If farming seaweed spores, it's also recommended to do every Fossil Island Wyvern task you get. Remember to blow the molten glass into the highest tier item you can make. Of course, another method that's far simpler if you have completed Lunar Diplomacy and have 77 magic for Super Glass Make is to buy your supplies from a trader crew member. You'll then cast Super Glass Make and make the highest tier item you can before selling said items or dropping them, then hop worlds and repeat. The only downside to this method is the competition for stock. You should see about 65,000 to 70,000 experience per hour with lantern lenses, and 85,000 to 90,000 experience per hour with empty light orbs, depending on stock. It's also worth noting to use less popular docks when available, like Port Tyrus after completion of Regicide or Brimhaven Dock, to ensure a better chance at being stocked. That's the fastest methods, guys. Hope you like the guide. Till next time.